Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot Readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I am here 365 days of the year to take your political questions out of the chat, and then I read on the collective energy as best I can. This is a spiritual practice, and it is never 100% accurate, but it's interesting the insights we can get. 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America at feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. That is an ongoing thing. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe, and we have a great community because of you. Thank you. Okay. The nails are just a solid color today. So, anyway. There are two things. One, I need to have I need to update the questions, make sure I've got the latest one, because I've got like 14 of your questions or something today, which is awesome. And I'm grateful for that. As you can probably tell, I do not take this for granted. I do not take you for granted. All right, so I've got the questions there. And there was one other thing I was going to show you. We're going to start with today. I just need to make sure okay, so that's saved. Almost there. Hang on. And I just need to open this because we need something, just to really get us in a spiritual mood. So I think I should, in respect, I should take down the overlay for a moment. Okay. Share screen. Window. Yes. Sister Felicity Immaculata, Mother Superior of the Order of Eternal Indifference, sends you blessings on this day. Why is that so convincing? It just is. Anyway, so Sister Felicity, Order of Eternal Indifference, send you blessings on this day, as do I, a mere humble tarot reader here on the interwebs. All right. Phyllis Rowan says that's one of my favorite memes. Well, I don't remember it. See, that's the thing. After a while, there are some things you remember and some things you don't. I was reading an article this morning on Princess Anne, and I had heard things about her in the past, but I had totally, I had made way in the limited memory bank, and so I was running across things about her. Specifically this morning, it was like, oh wow, she's wow. I didn't know in 1974, 72, 74, something like that. Her driver and her bodyguard were shot, and they were beating on the car, and they said, "Get out of the car." And she said, "Not bloody likely." To armed gunmen. Whew. She was also, I did note that she was a very very skilled equestrian, and she won an Olympic medal, but also she fell off her horse, suffered a concussion, got right back on her horse, and did the rest of the jumps. She says she doesn't remember any of the jumps after that. Concussion. Concussion. Back on the horse, doing the jumps. So anyway, yes, Anne, when they tried to kidnap her. Jeez. So anyway, I ran across that this morning, and I thought I'd share because I had forgotten. And wow, that's impressive. I don't know that I could be that calm. There's an armed gunman trying to get to me. But anyway, all right. Let's go to the. Okay, so at 5 minutes 30 seconds in. Let's see here. 5:30. The DOJ has petitioned the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals regarding the documents seized at Mar-a-Lago. Their argument points out, quote, neither the plaintiff nor the court has cited any authority suggesting that a former president could successfully invoke executive privilege to prevent the executive branch, I would add actual executive branch, from reviewing its own records, among other things. Will they succeed? Yeah. Be Grateful says, I love the style of the Brits, how they won World War II. Well, my ex's grandmother made me, as I'm shuffling, my ex's grandmother made me tea many years ago. We went over to her house, and she's like, would you like a cup of tea? And I was like, absolutely, because I'm a big tea drinker. Well, she gave me the tea, and you couldn't see, not only could you not see the bottom of the cup, you couldn't see the sides of the cup. And I took one sip of that, and I just looked at my now ex, and I just said, now I understand how you guys won the war. Wow. So anyway, good stuff. Okay. I guess I've got to do this. We've got to do this. So hopefully the DOJ will be victorious here. And later on, I will share for fun. Later on, maybe at the end, I will share some of the funny, trying to find some humor, some of the funny tweets coming out of the 3 mile queue line that people are waiting in to pay last respects to the Queen. There are some funny tweets coming out of that, and we could use a little humor. So, DOJ saying, hello, there is an executive branch, and he's over there. This guy, he's a civilian. He's nothing. He's a person like everybody else. So they're appealing. Will it succeed? Now, what I heard is that the appeals court, there are 12 justices. There are 12 judges on the appeals court. One of them is like one of the seats isn't filled right now. So there are 11. And I want to say at least 5 of them were appointed by Trump. However, before we freak out completely, apparently they've been showing a real willingness to stick to the law. Shocking. So what is the appeals court going to? We're going to say to the DOJ, my gosh, that makes sense. My gosh, DOJ, that makes sense. Let's do that. Maxine says not 3, but 5 miles. Oh, it's growing. Whew. Okay, Kill Bill, yes. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Thank you, Be Grateful. Ace of Cups. Oh, the lawyers for the DOJ. Yeah, they're raining on Trump's parade. They will continue raining on Trump's parade, but yeah, just and he'll look like David Tennant in that Doctor Who meme where it's just raining and he's all, only to be Trump's hair. And once this unravels, I can't imagine what it would do. Do you think they actually cut his hair, or is it just like layered back and forth? Just wondering. Asking for a friend. Okay. Oh, Tigress is making Earl Grey tea right now. May I have some, please? Chariot. Knight of Wands. 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords. Yeah. I don't think the appeals court is going to have much good to say to this judge. This is big action, and this is, a knight is very active. This is the ones are the far right. So these are Trump's, the everybody on Trump's side. They're active. They're trying, but you can't. This cannot compete with this, and this is the momentum toward getting these secrets safe and holding people who shouldn't have them accountable. And this is going to leave Trump with a lot of, him and his lawyers with a lot of stress, because I think to some extent they probably went into this, his lawyers went into this thinking, I may not get paid, but I'll be able to say for the rest of my career, I can put it on a sign in the front, former lawyer to the president of the United States, and or lawyer to the former president. Yeah, anyway. But this feels like you want to tell him? I don't want to tell him. You want to tell him? No, I don't want to tell him. How are we going to tell him? I don't know how we're going to tell him. Maybe you'll find out in the news. That's it. Maybe we won't have to talk to him anymore. We could quit. This is Trump being upset, but this is because he knows how much trouble he's in. But this is also the people around him being like, not wanting to be the bearer of bad news to the king, the medieval king that Trump wants to be. Insult to injury and death. This feels like it ties back to this, and this feels like the appeals court is not going to have nice things to say. It feels like, even though there are a lot of Trump judges on there, it feels like, yeah, there's this national security thing, and yeah. Which, my opinion, if you are an American and you actually care about America, then yeah, the national security thing, it's kind of important. Darren is a chai drinker. I don't know. I've never gotten into chai, but that's just me. Oh, wow. Joanne Skinner says Trump's new lawyer was paid $3 million in advance. Wow. So he's not going to be able to stiff his lawyers when they turn around and say, can't help you. Hello, Karen. Excuse me. I was just reading on the DOJ and the appeals court about Judge Loose Cannon's ruling. 5 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, and Page of Pentacles. No, there's nothing good here. There's just on Trump's side. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, we need to go back to actually. Okay, now we need to actually start gearing up toward when they bring charges. This is the other side, and is going along with the rest of the country, and it's just, yeah, we have these things called laws, and we care. And presidents are not kings, and plaintiff is not president. Only in this case, he's not the plaintiff. He is the defendant. Although technically, well, I guess he's going to be the defendant. I should be more accurate. Anyway, Dr. Nancy says caffeinated. All right. Marie Henson says it's the only way they'll work for him. Yeah, I believe that. I tried pumpkin spice chai tea. Not sure about that one. Yeah, that's the thing. I can't get behind the pumpkin spice. I like Starbucks coffee. I don't go out, but I like Starbucks coffee. I like the different flavors. I like flavored coffee, but Anyway. Okay. Oh, and Geek Hillbilly's having usual Death Wish coffee, black. Whew. Metal. It's like the time that way back in the dark ages, my nephew, he was going past and he went like this, and I was just not fully paying attention, and I was like, oh, cool, metal, and my sister went, he's saying I love you. I was like, oh, sorry, I love you too. Oops. Okay, second question. That's January 6th committee. January 6th committee meeting. Okay, 16 minutes in. All right. January 6th committee members are shocked. Really? At this point, you're still capable of being shocked? Sorry, very hot. I have to put my hair up. All right, so January 6th committee members are shocked. Shocked, I tell you. That at Trump's legal team's new claim that the recovered documents are only, quote, newspaper clippings, unquote, instead of actual classified documents. What? Newspaper clippings. I also heard someone say that, I guess, I don't know if this is true because I heard this secondhand, but the Trump lawyers, what have you, might be saying that, what was it? The documents actually belong to Trump.org. So our super classified stuff belongs to Griftco? No, just no, and with a liberal dash of heck no. So yeah. Dr. Nancy, my new mantra: we won. Biden's doing great. I like that. Okay, this isn't quite working, but okay. Anyway, Dave says Trump is nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I'll probably take this down later, but right now, I just need to get it off of my neck. It doesn't. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Mel Broussard says, I think the U.S. government, we the people, would beg to differ on the ownership question. Yes. Karen is saying, I want to know when the committee will announce the new hearings. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the 28th, but then there's not actually anything listed. Sorry about that. So let's make this a 19. All right, so the January 6th committee members are shocked at Trump's legal team's new claim that the recovered docs are only newspaper clippings instead of actual classified documents. Could this have some effect on how the rest of the hearings will go? Basically meaning they're trying to make spurious claims. The word I'm looking for. I could use harsher language. I'm trying to find a cleaner version. So, newspaper clippings, huh? Oh man. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, the other side, they know they don't have a leg to stand on. They know. You can't get there from here. You can't. There's nowhere to get to from here. So, okay, sorry. 4 of Cups. Page of Cups. There are more witnesses who have been working with the committee. And legal decisions, disappointment. People agreeing. This is just regular people. But it's like a whole parade of just regular people coming through talking to the committee. Some people, they tried to, like Bannon, try to say, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. Whatever. Most people are answering the subpoenas. They're making the legal decision. And the committee, if anything, they're drinking from a fire hose of information. So this isn't, it feels increasingly like Trump's sphere and his arguments are just more and more isolated, which is kind of interesting considering how many really cuckoo for Cocoa Puff far-righters have won primaries around the country. It's like, really? You think you can? Okay. But then again, you have to understand that it's something that's very, very hard for humans to do. We are not naturally hardwired to understand the sheer number of people in the world, in the country, even in a particularly large city. It's very hard for our brains to wrap around the concept of that, because all through our evolution, I heard a scientist once say that for most of our evolution as Homo sapiens sapiens, you'd be lucky if you saw 150 people in your whole life. So yeah. So it's easy to feel like, oh, we're in this together. But when the entire state of, say, Montana the entire state has the same population as a large city as one large city in California, you start getting a better sense. And then there are other large cities in California, and you start seeing the real imbalance of power. This far right resurgence or insurgents, grasp for power, you start seeing just how weak it actually is. Oh, and apparently in Pennsylvania, not only is Dr. Oz from New Jersey, it turns out Mastriano, is that his name? I think it is. Who Trump is pushing. Yeah, it turns out he just registered in the state to vote in the state last year. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, is number 3 about Denmark? Yes. Greenland. Yeah, that's a funny story. 5, insult to injury. 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands. There's been ongoing attempts at witness tampering, and it's not going to end well for those who have been doing it. Yeah, especially the really particularly dim bulbs, who, like Giuliani, who call someone to witness tamper, and when they don't get an answer, they leave a message of their attempted tampering. Yeah. Okay. 25 minutes in. All right, it's the whole Greenland thing. Okay. We knew back in 2019, Trump had expressed interest in purchasing Greenland from Denmark. What we didn't know until recently was that he was willing to throw in Puerto Rico to sweeten the deal. What would he have tried to do to Puerto Ricos living in the U.S. if he'd gotten away with it? That's a question. My favorite part of this story, which I can, I don't have, I can't say, I heard this from this large news agency, reputable source kind, but what I heard was Trump kept looking at maps and saying, look at Greenland, it's massive. Which is part of why I wanted it. Which I think goes right along with the day I'm waiting for when someone on the far right says that we should drill for oil on the moon. It's that level of, okay, Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans. Well, considering we have not given Puerto Rico statehood, full rights of citizenship, all of that kind of fun stuff, I wouldn't blame them if they were like Denmark. Could we do worse? 6 of Pentacles. Oh, that's pathetic. Okay, Kilby wants to know, what the heck would Trump want with Greenland? It's an icebox. All he saw was somewhere that had not been developed, and that it's on the map. Look at it. It's massive. I'm going to guess they didn't show it to him on a globe. Oh, man. Rob D says he thought Greenland was a prime golf course development. Greens everywhere. Lady says Puerto Ricans would have health care. Yeah. Sempris, he probably isn't aware that Iceland is greener and Greenland is icier. Yes, very much so. Yeah. And since other people knew about its strategic placement, well, I understand that, but look how big it is on the map. Trump Tower, Greenland, exactly, Theodore. Yes. This is, well, we'll just get rid of those little people who are just scamming the system because, of course, there's Puerto Ricans. They're not American, according to Trump and his ilk. Icky ilk. 10 of Cups. Queen of Swords. There's Trump, the moron. J for Genius, Trump. Donald J for Genius, Trump. Knight of Swords and High Priestess. Okay, it does have strategic value, but let's use some higher wisdom here. Honestly, Puerto Rico, I don't know that you'd be worse off. I'm just saying. Excuse me, I'm not saying you should join Denmark. I'm just saying there would be worse things. The legal loopholes, and it isn't even loopholes, the legal hoops you would have to jump through are massive. This was ridiculous. This was not only ridiculous, this was stupid. Ridiculous. This was not going to, no. Oh, for heaven's sakes, make them the 51st state. And then make Washington, D.C. the 52nd. Good grief. No taxation without representation. Gina says, he also said North Korea has great beaches for condos. Yes, I remember that. You know, you've got all this great land here. It's funny how nobody wants to actually, no matter how good the land is, nobody actually wants to live under a dictatorship. Something else that eludes Trump. Anyway, all right. 31. Yikes. This is a worry. Not a huge worry for us, but it's still a worry. A growing number of January 6 defendants have been arrested again for subsequent crimes involving guns, drugs, and domestic abuse. Lovely human beings just showing their stripes again. Basically, is QAnon and or MAGA diehard, is QAnon and MAGA, is it imploding? As these people who work themselves up into a state don't get the relief that they think they deserve. It's called therapy. You should try it. It might help you. You have what might be called anger issues. This, believe it or not, this isn't a democracy. We do this whole voting thing. Anyone says it does, oh, there's an electoral college, it doesn't matter. Ha! You're also voting for local stuff too. Trust me, your vote matters no matter what state you're in. Knight of Wands. They're, you know, this whole QAnon, the whole thing is to ramp up their anger and keep them angry. I mean, I certainly listen to, I listen to progressive radio and people on YouTube and that kind of thing. And I certainly get annoyed at some things. But if I find myself actually starting to feel angry, I tend to turn it off. It's like, okay, I'm going to be voting. Maybe I need to contact a representative, but I do not need to be angry tonight. And I can talk about politics. We can talk about politics while we're here. And then so insult to injury. 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, 8 of Wands, disappointment, not listening to reason. They drank the Kool-Aid. They drank the Kool-Aid. And they're furious that the libs keep winning. And that's the nicest thing they call us. Geek Hillbilly, peace be still. You got other stuff to do. And people need your good energy. And animals need your good energy. The world needs your good energy. Even if there's nobody around you, the world needs your good energy. Your ancestors and your, and your guides, they want you to be happy. They do. And they're trying to help. This is just, this is brainwashing. This is brainwashing vulnerable people. And this is stirring up the anger on the right. And I won't go into it again, but anyone who's been here a while has heard me talk about the French Revolution many, 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 many times. And the aristocracy in France in the late 1700s, basically around the end of the 1700s, 1790s, learned a valuable lesson about do not anger the populace to try and gain power. Because after a point, You cannot control them. Dr. Nancy says, I agree with Ian. Putin wanted Greenland. Trump was thinking his own buildings, his own, I'm going to make so much money. Because, of course, all the development stuff would, him and Kushner would get 8 of, in his mind, trust me, I understand the actual likelihood, yeah. Working, so 8 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups, can dream on. But no, I'm not getting, this isn't Putin. This is greedy, self-centered, authoritarian, stupid, entitled, selfish, narcissistic property developers who don't know how to read a map. That's really, yeah. Darren says, I like Twining's teas. Oh, I do too. Twining's Earl Grey is my favorite. Yes, Evelyn, selfish, nasty people who can't read a map. Look at it on a globe. When you make the Trump, when you take a globe and you try to make a 2-dimensional map of it, things get distorted. And Greenland isn't actually that wide and this tall. Okay. Okay, 37 minutes in. Velray had a question. 37. Will Trump's properties be seized by the IRS or the banks for tax fraud and or defaulted loans? Yes, please. Because that is what I am hoping for. That is what I would like, very much like, just injustice, legal, non-violent, legal justice. Trump's properties be seized by the IRS or banks for tax fraud or defaulted loans? Or will someone like Letitia James come along and dissolve Griftco? I'm not picky. As long as it's lawful and fair. I would take everything down to his ugly red tie and the fish delight out of his hand, since he's apparently too arrogant to call it. He started calling it a fish delight, and it's not a fish delight, and it confuses people when he says that. But he decided it's called a fish delight, and that's what he calls it. I'd take his fish delight and his red tie. You know, I'm sure there's a fenced cage and some silver space blankets and a cement floor somewhere he could sleep on. It's only fitting. Page of Pentacles. This is Kushner. I wonder if Trump isn't expecting Kushner to bail him out somehow. Oh, that's going to be a popcorn day. Far-right victory, the star, the government, the thief, the tower falling. Yes. Every time I read on this, I get the same answer. Yep. Griftco is going to go. He just thinks he's so above everything, but you're not. And the thief, the tower of the thief, it's all going to go down. Julie Robinette, I like that. 3 heart eye emojis. Yeah. That's true, Gene. The former guy draws his own maps. That is true. Careful, Canada, because it gets that Sharpie going, and you're going to lose Newfoundland. So I'm trying to think of maybe Ontario. Okay. At 40-30. Okay, Court of Appeals ruled in favor of Texas against social media companies who censure right-wing extremism. All right, so at 40-30. 40-30. CC Ryder says Letitia James just rejected Trump's settlement offer. Seizing and shutting down Trump org is last resort. One more step closer to the Tower card. Yeah. All right, so the Court of Appeals ruled in favor of Texas against social media companies who censure right-wing extremism and misinformation. They're not utilities. What if their server farms have policies that have to be so they don't have servers to run their business if they let all these heinous people on. So the business explodes. It's not a utility, it's a business. Today, we reject the idea that corporations have a freewheeling First Amendment right to censor what people say. Well, this will ultimately go to the Supreme Court. Will this change things online going forward? Oh, see, you say Supreme Court and I get this creepy, crawly feeling up between my shoulder blades. They're not done. Their heinousness is not over, I am afraid. We need to brace ourselves. It will not last. Their garbage will not last. We are going to get through this. We're not going to lose our democracy. But just brace yourself. Expect the Supreme Court is going to come down with other rulings that your jaw's going to hit the floor. And then you just go, okay, I expected this. I'm going to make a cup of tea. And I'm going to make sure I'm still registered to vote. So we reject the idea that companies have a right to curtail. These are not utilities, people. And if that's the case, be careful what you wish for. Because you're just saying, because this is very broad. Today, we reject the idea that corporations have a freewheeling First Amendment right to censor what people say. That is really broad. What if it's talking about something illegal? What if they're talking about attacking children? The what if somebody's organizing a bombing? What if all of the let's say dark side of the porn industry decides, hey, we're going on Twitter and we're putting whatever we want out there. We're going on Facebook. We're doing whatever we want. We're going wherever we want on the internet and putting whatever we want, wherever we want, including in front of children. That's crazy town. Lovers. Yeah, that's talk about a double-edged sword. Whew. Scott is saying, I won't list the problems with that ruling. Yeah. Six of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. This is people like Trump and these people on the right who are looking. It's like they're outside the party looking in. It was that glorious moment, my favorite moments ever in Congress. And I don't remember who originally said it, because there were a number of politicians on the right who said it, where they got the leaders of social media companies in, and they said, your search engines, the search part of your site is completely biased. I type my own name in, and all that comes up is bad things about me. And you could see everyone else in the, you could see them just go. They think that there's some liberal party going on and they're not invited. But we will stand together, our dynasty. Oh, the emperor, the star, to return Trump to power. Yikes. So is this ruling gonna survive? That's the future, huh? Ace of Cups. Websites all over the internet, their business models would collapse. I'm serious. If they cannot moderate comment sections, cannot block people, the whole swaths of the internet, big names in the internet, their business models collapse. 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, Lovers. I don't think it's going to work, but it doesn't mean they're going to come to their senses and go, oh, gee, that has far-reaching consequences that could hurt me and my beliefs, my causes. They think they've got the power and they're being held out of the great part. It's like, no, you have a party, and it's very cult-like. And it's built around the walking embodiment of all 7 deadly sins. So yeah, we don't want you over here. If you were nice, if you actually believed in Jesus' actual teachings and not making your children stand there with assault weapons for your Christmas card. See, if I had just said that like 5 years ago, I said, yeah, that person, she's going to give her kids assault weapons for their Christmas card picture. Everyone would be like, ha, 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 ha. Hyperbole. No, that's happened more than once. All right, 49 to 49, 49. Peg had a question. Let me see here. All right, is the FBI or other law enforcement working on sting operations to infiltrate migrant groups that Abbott and DeSantis are moving around like chess pieces? Sting operations. I don't know that there need to be sting operations. I mean, it's pretty clear cut. And some right-wing reporter met the buses on one of the buses that arrived in Martha's Vineyard, and the people getting off, and ended up having brief conversations with kids. He's like, how you doing? The kid's like, I'm good. I mean Spanish, but I'm good. And the people up there, they had to drive to gather clothes and food together, see what they could do to help. Also, DeSantis and Abbott, they better be careful what they're doing here, because both of those states are getting extra money to deal with people coming across the border. And if they just keep shipping people inland, why should they get the extra money? Carolyn is saying, I'd love to see Autumn in the House. She'd be a great representative. Oh, that is very sweet of you to say that. I appreciate that, Carolyn. I can tell you the number one reason why it's not going to happen, though. In 2022, 2024, someone who's doing this on the internet, not going to win an election. So someday it won't matter. But for now, yeah. That, and I don't know, it's awfully people-y over there. Just kidding. All right. 51. Well, okay, I didn't really look at this. It's pretty self-evident. I don't know that there need to be sting operations, but let's see. Insult to injury. Yeah, these poor people, they've come this far, and then your strength, moon, 8 of Wands. There are going to be some court rulings that stop this. Yeah, that's true, Roxana Lee. Funny how a deck of cards scares people. Yeah, I mean, Mike Pence can go around saying that Jesus talks to him directly, and he's made vice president. And there are those evangelicals who are talking about how the angels visit them in person and, do all this stuff. And they are welcome in the White House, but oh my gosh, your New Age beliefs. Anyway, this is going to be stopped. Yeah, and first of all, it's not having the effect that Abbott and DeSantis. I don't know if both of them are doing this. I honestly haven't been paid that close of attention because their energy is so intertwined in heinousness, but this kind of nonsense isn't going to stand. It's not going to have the effect that they want. Right now, they're congratulating themselves. I think it's mostly DeSantis right now, isn't it? But yeah. Anne says they don't remember Nancy Reagan had an astrologer. Right. And that was a huge scandal at the time. Now, I can understand on the one hand the idea of astrology, having a world leader like that who's a believer in astrology or whose schedule is being set by astrology and what have you, because other countries can then start judging, being able to say, oh, okay, so it's a Mercury retrograde, so he's not going to do this during a Mercury retrograde. So from this point to this point, we are free to do the thing. That I can understand, but yeah. Ian's asking, does Jesus talk to Pence by Twitter, WhatsApp, or text? Yeah, apparently just some in his mind. And frankly, I don't have an issue with the basic concept if it means you're being a nice person. If it means you are spending more time giving to the poor, raising money for the needy, clothing, feeding your neighbors, spreading kindness, and you think Jesus is talking directly to you, you know what? Maybe he is. But if you think Jesus is talking directly to you, and that's, yes, I'm going to be the vice president for Donald Trump and his third wife. Thief. Two of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Knight of Wands. Oh, they think this is clever. They think it's funny. But it's not sustainable. It's a stunt. It legally somebody's going to step in and say, stop. So, anyway. All right. You teach her how many girlfriends? Exactly. All right. At 55:30, Eileen had a question. 55:30. Will DeSantis and Abbott be charged with human trafficking for the stunt that flew two planes of illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard? Was it both DeSantis and Abbott? Did they each send one? Linda Johnson says it was illegal for DeSantis to use the money for in-state. Okay. Lady said, I saw a lawyer on a video saying that they could be criminally charged. Okay. Hey, Shay Laughter. Evelyn says they were both in cahoots. Sweet Sugar Jones says Arizona did it too. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Amoris, he's saying, yes, it was Abbott who sent several buses to D.C. to Kamala Harris's home in New York City. Yeah. Anna saying Ducey sent some buses from Arizona. Yeah. So, are you going to be... All right, I'm just going to look at 3 cards for Abbott, 3 cards for DeSantis. We'll let the rest just be for right now. Abbott. Are you going to face criminal charges for this political stunt of yours? And DeSantis. DeSantis feels like he's in a stronger position. Linda Johnson says it was COVID money that DeSantis used. Oh, jeez. 4 of Wands. Oh, yeah, the Trump base thinking. Yeah, base thinking. Debased base thinking. All right, Abbott. Criminal charges, world, hanged man, ace of swords. Yeah, that does not look great for him. He's got 2 major arcana of endings and being strung up by your heels or everything turned on its head by the truth coming out. That does not look good for Abbott. Please let that mean he's going to lose the veto. DeSantis, Queen of Wands, High Priestess, 2 of Pentacles. He why am I getting a mental image of, what are they called? Cattle? They're not cattle fences. It's the gratings you get over like an opening between fences, and then you've got this opening, but they have these, they like dig a pit, and then they have these metal bars in a row with some space between them, but it's just enough that it keeps the cows can't walk across them, but people can. Cattle grids. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you. I just got a mental image of DeSantis trying to go forward, but there's some kind of cattle grids, guards, cattle guards. Thank you, everybody. I just got a mental image of that. This isn't happening. No, this isn't happening. I don't know. His position feels stronger than Abbott's. The people there, he has more support within the state. Pretending it's higher wisdom, it's not. But there's all kind of entanglement. So maybe on Abbott, but I'm not sure about DeSantis. I would hope so. it feels like DeSantis has some kind of victories ahead of him to a point. Like he's maybe got one or two on over something, but it's not the presidency. Knight of Pentacles. It's expensive. 10 of Cups. Well, it's also expensive because of the lawyer's fees. Because that's coming too. And the courts. Page of Wands. 7 of Swords. Thief. Yeah, it's going to take a while, which is annoying, but it's going to blow up in their faces. But the courts are going to get involved. That I'm definitely feeling. But it's not now. They're yeah. I wish I could say DeSantis is going to be thrown out of office tomorrow, but I don't get that he's even kneecapped politically, not in real life. No violence. Kneecapped politically for quite some time. Wow. Okay, 101.30. 101.30. Okay. It turns out that prior to running for office in Pennsylvania, both Oz and Mastriano were New Jersey voters. Yes, there was a tweet earlier. Okay, I like to give credit to people though. So hang on, let me pull this up because I know I've got the original tweet as a screen capture right here. I just have to scroll back to it. Hang on. It was here. Oh, and yeah, I do want to talk about the Q. Yeah, that was it. Scott Shapiro saying, quote, he tweeted, "It's horrifying that New Jersey is transporting and dumping its Republicans in Pennsylvania to run for office." That was it. Yeah. So the question here is, will the GOP corruption ever end? Well, I think that's kind of broad, but let's check in on Oz and Mastriano, 3 cards each. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, jeez. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon, putting the link into the Creative Sprints channel. Where I will be at 4 o'clock with Sarah, and we're going to work on creative stuff like we do every day, and you're always welcome. Okay. Oz. Now let's do it alphabetically. Mastriano and Oz. Mastriano and Oz. Mastriano. Oz. Okay. 3 of Cups. Democrats winning. All right. Mastriano. Disappointment. Strength. His only strength is the charity from other parts of the Republican Party. He's not only not doing well with Democrats, he's actually losing people who only lean Democratic but are open to voting Republican. That's not great. Oz, Emperor, Mr. Big Shot, far right communications, and yeah, this is them saying Fetterman. Yeah, this is go home. I don't have good cards on either of them, to be honest. So, all right. All right, at 1:05 and a bit, Glenn had a question. So let's say 1:05:15. Okay, Glenn's question is, J.D. Vance has doubled down on his anti-abortion rhetoric and is leading Tim Ryan in the polls for Ohio Senate. Will his rally with Trump in Ohio tonight help expose him as the MAGA troll he is? Oh, J.D. Vance. I do want to know what's going on poll-wise. J.D. Vance polls. Yesterday, there was a poll, USA Today Network, Ohio, Suffolk University election poll from the Columbus Dispatch, is saying that they only polled 500 voters. It's saying the race between U.S. Representative Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance is neck and neck. The candidates are virtually tied in the polls, with the Democratic congressman maintaining a small lead, like 46% to 45%, which is well within the margin of error. So, yikes. Okay. Ryan, Democrats on the left. Vance, Republicans on the right. How's it looking? Ryan and Vance. And not Joyce Vance, who I'd be happy to read on. She seems lovely. No, J.D. Vance. Ryan. And J.D. Vance. Oh, he really does have a shot. Semper says internal polling is way more optimistic, but we can get complacent, of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 6 of wands. Well, the right is hoping for a far-right victory, not just a Republican victory, but some kind of far-right victory. Tim Ryan, Queen of Swords, 8 of Cups, 10 of Wands. Well, that's a burden, but that's a burden that's like clearing out the burden of the far right. This is something legal. It could be voting, but it could be more like legal cases, stunts about voting. But there just aren't enough Republicans, or even some Republicans vote for Democrats. And then it feels like possibly Tim Ryan like carrying the garbage out. I don't know. J.D. Vance, King of Swords. All right, with the King of Swords. So it's similar, but more patriarchal. Star and Chariot. Isn't he Hillbilly Elegy guy? Because he's got a star here. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of court case about the results. And this big Chariot card, as opposed to this burden. And it feels like clearing out a burden. What is this Chariot card? Thread of Hope, yes. Thank you. What is this? What is that Chariot card? Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance. Queen of Swords again. Legal. I think there are going to be a lot of legal cases after this election. Five of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, High Priestess. Again, that burden card. And a decision. Thread of Hope says, I keep getting court case vibes from our Senate race here in North Carolina, too. Yep. I wish I could say that Ryan's definitely going to win. I don't like the energy behind Vance here. Like maybe he's getting so much support from elsewhere. Plus they say that people on the left are too beholden to people who are famous. It's like, you do the same thing over there, only you pick really nasty C to Z list celebrities. Knight of Cups. No, I shouldn't say that. You pick mean celebrities. Knight of Cups. This is fighting back against the court cases. This is heavy-duty law enforcement about allegations of voter fraud. And there are already plans in the works they're already working on the plan to do something like that. Trump's face of power, so it's taking a page out of Trump's playbook. But ultimately, I've got Tim Ryan here. I think it's going to be ugly. But I think the energy is kind of like slightly for Tim Ryan, seriously. But it's going to be court cases and ickiness. Yeah. Jen Glenn says maybe it'll be a close race rather than Tim Ryan losing. Well, I wonder if it would be Tim Ryan winning, but not by a lot. And then J.D. Vance and the right go take it to court. Like, they're going to take so many of these elections to court. Seriously, if you are a lawyer, if you are a judge, if you work in a courthouse, clear your schedule in November. You're going to be working overtime. It's going to be like March, the IRS. All right, 113. Let me do one more question. And then I want to go over some of trying to find some humor. I want to just go over some of those tweets about the Q. Eileen, this is a fascinating question. I've never read on this. 11330. Let's see here. 11330. A study shows America's Christian majority dropped 26% in 50 years. If trends continue, Christians will drop to 35% of the population within decades. What will the Christian majority do about this? Kind of what they're doing now, which is freaking out and going extreme, more and more extreme, as they feel pressured, as they feel pushed into a corner. Because if they're not, well, on the one hand, if they are not favored by God, then what are they doing? Because, of course, to them, that's what matters. And if you're favored by God, you'll be rich. Prosperity gospel. Anyway. But at the same time, if you listen to them, they are always the victims. We can't even say Merry Christmas anymore. Really? I worked in retail. I could say whatever I wanted to. I worked for a big national chain for years. And as a matter of fact, I don't even care which holiday you're celebrating, as long as it's, something decent. If you wish me a happy whatever, you know what? I'm going to wish you a happy whatever right back. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I haven't been Catholic since I was 16, but if you want to, wish me Happy Chocolate Day, I will say Happy Chocolate Day. But as these evangelicals, as their numbers dwindle, as their power dwindles, what will they do? Happy Yule, Roxana. Yes, Happy Yule. Happy first day of fall. Happy day. Happy day. Shay Laughter says exactly. We lift each other up with all the blessings. Absolutely. Wheezy Squeezebox. Merry Perihelion. Merry Perihelion, Wheezy Squeezebox. Lady is reminding us that chocolate day is every day. That is true. Oh, I have a new chocolate bar to try. I almost hope I don't like it because it's way too expensive. All right, Hierophant, the establishment. And this, I always talk, because I do so much political stuff, this, it's always the government. Well, actually, what this is the institution, and that is the Pope. That is a Pope. That's the Rider. This is the Rider Waite deck. I will point out that because it was Waite who worked with Pamela Coleman Smith on these, that's why there's a W in the top of the Pope's crown. That's for Waite in the Rider Waite deck. Just saying. But no, this is the Pope. This is the institution, not the actual Pope. This feels. I realize that there are plenty of Catholics in this country. My family's Catholic, but this feels more extreme. But I know Catholics can be extreme too. Anyway, I'll just read the cards. Just read the cards. All right, that's refusal to listen. Two of Swords. Page of Swords. There's a Death card. People becoming more materialistic. It's kind of why there was a push for the prosperity gospel. It's this materialistic idea, and they're afraid of losing people. And also, it allows them to keep their doors open and to live well if they say, give me money and blessings will come back to you however many fold. And I've heard plenty of people say that on the extreme religious community arena. But people aren't listening. Right now they're trying to pass a bunch of laws. Bullies, but their demographic is aging out. So they're going to. It actually feels like eventually what will happen is a lot of churches will kind of morph into charities, believe it or not. Of course, there'll always be some huckster somewhere, but that's what this feels like eventually. This whole. I run a church and I live in a I'm a billionaire kind of. I have hundreds of millions of dollars that I've gathered from my congregation. Enjoy it while it lasts. That's not going to continue in the long run. Give it a couple of decades. That's not. No, give it time. All right. So there's that. Okay. That's all I'm going to do for readings today. But I did want to just share. I know people in the UK are grieving. I know people who are who feel like the Queen of England, Elizabeth II, was like she was a constant presence in all of our lives. She was always there in the background through all the upheaval over the years and decades and what have you. So I understand. But it's also, I think, good. I think it's healthy to also look for, a little bit of humor, where as long as you're not offending anybody, but a little bit of humor now and then. So I wanted to share with you some of Sarah was kind enough to send me. So these tweets are glorious. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. All right. And this is from the Tyranna Whale Facebook page. So we're just going to have a quick look through. Hang on, let me pull this up. I've only read through this once, so a couple of them might be dodgy, but for the most part, they're amusing. So apparently there is I heard that the line to pay last respects to the Queen was 3 miles long. You were kind enough to tell me it's actually at like 5 miles. It's a lot. Thank you, everybody. So Patricia says this Canadian is also feeling the profound loss of the Queen, our head of state. Absolutely. And I seriously, my condolences to anyone who's really feeling this loss, if it's hitting you hard. So anyway, so they're talking about the Q. Various tweets. It's 2023. William is on the throne. The funeral for Elizabeth went on so long, Charles died before it ended. The Q to see his body was added to the one to see the Queen and start to bury services on the M6. Tomorrow marks the first anniversary of the. I'll skip the end of that. Okay, apparently the line, it is long. Let's see what else we've got here. The year is 2023. The Q is still growing. Paddington Bear is now our overlord. Marmalade sandwiches are compulsory with every meal. If you don't, you're imprisoned. The UK has rejoined the EU to allow the frictionless movement after the Q reached France. There are babies born in the Q. Yes, babies. They are held up like Simba when they are born. Some say these babies will go on to do great things after the Q. One baby took its first steps in the Q. A step for the Queen, their mother said tearfully. So moving. The birth of babies in the Q causes serious unrest, as they are viewed as cutting in line by those behind them. Some new families are banished from the Q to fend for themselves amongst the empty streets. Some people now join the Q not to see the Queen, but to see the Q itself. I've never really been a monarchist, says one person who joined the Q as it reached Germany. But you hear about the Q and you just want to be a part of history. All right. So that is going to do it for me for today. It is 1:37 p.m. here in Chicago. Thank you for being here. At 4 o'clock, I will be over on the Creative Sprints channel to do Creative Sprints. You're always welcome. Just bring whatever creative thing you'd like to do, and we'll just try to encourage you. That's the whole point. All right. So other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow. Same boo-boo time, same boo-boo channel. And so don't forget, you're not alone. You are not alone. We are all in this together, and there are good days ahead. There are, okay? So hang in there, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Okay. Oh, ladies, says I'll let you know when the Q gets here. Thank you.